Are you ready?
Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
I'm Daniel.
I am Rex. There's not a bottle here.
It's because it's Rare Whiskey Friday. I've got 4 over my right shoulder on the floor, so by my right foot, really.
Okay.
So
that's a lot of bottles down there.
Here's the thing. Do you want to do them all at once? Talk about Rare Whiskey Friday first?
Do you want to try it?
No.
But it's always so fun for me.
I know.
This is Rare Whiskey Friday. We're going to go through and get first impressions on several different whiskeys. These aren't necessarily large brands. More often than not, these are going to be your smaller craft distilleries without a tremendous amount of distribution. If you should be so lucky as to live in a place where you can get your hands on one of these whiskeys, you're welcome for the review. And thank you to the magnificent bastards that sent the whiskey.
Okay, so this is from Oahu, Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
And Ko'olau
Yes.
Distillery.
Yes. You know what? Of all the things that we butcher the pronunciation of, I'm pretty confident in your pronunciation of Hawaiian stuff.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I lived there for almost a year.
Yeah, and
my dad's a nerd too.
Yeah.
And we both took it upon ourselves to try to learn how to correctly pronounce the Hawaiian alphabet.
As correctly as a Texan can.
Yeah, it's definitely got a Texan accent.
Still going to be a 20 in there.
So this is the Ko'olau Distillery, Old Pali Road. And I am so bummed because when I lived there, I don't think they existed.
Okay.
I don't think they were there when I lived there.
Oh.
And they, it turns out, are just down the road from where I lived, like 10, 15 minutes. Because I lived off of Kalanianiole in the Hawaii Kai neighborhood.
Yeah.
And they are just inside of Kailua Beach and Lani Kai, which was my favorite swimming spot on the east coast.
43% ABV. I'm getting on the nose.
Well,
a thin bourbony vibe.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
They say, they're honest about everything except for the one thing that's most annoying to me. They say they've blended whiskey that's 4 years old with their whiskey that's 1 month old.
Yeah, okay.
Their whiskey is only in there at 5%. So it's 95% somebody else's whiskey, 5% 1 month old theirs.
They did an accent flavor.
Yes.
Okay.
But they don't say where it was distilled, and that's illegal.
Well,
they don't say the state of distillation of the stuff they didn't make.
By. Oh,
yeah.
It doesn't say distilled.
Exactly. I mean, and they've been so transparent in every other way.
Right. Well, is this one of their first bottles?
Yeah.
It slipped under the, it slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, well, whatever they're sourcing it, this is batch 1.
Whoa!
And by the way, this is a gift from Magnificent Bastard Greg Jiskra.
Greg Jiskra, you magnificent bastard!
So I really...
See, thin and bourbony.
Yeah, it's a thin bourbon. It's got it accented all the vanillas instead of all the other darker notes. There is a little bit of a wood note in there.
You get vanilla, wood note, brown sugar, thin and bright, and proof down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 43%.
I've had some pretty budgety bourbons with this vibe going on.
Yeah. It actually tastes watered down. You know what I mean?
Well, which is a little surprising because you said it was 95% 4-year-old, which is enough time to have a,
heft to it, but they proved it down to 43. Yeah. But here's the thing is, it actually tastes to me like the first sip of a bourbon after you put a big ice rock into it, but before the ice is really melted.
Right.
Like that first impact.
So you're talking about the flavors that are typically muted in most bourbons after you put that cold ice in there.
Yeah. It muted all the same flavors.
And you and I were fresh off the heels of the episode we shot yesterday on the Whiskey Tribe.
All ice.
It was going through blind tastings of the most popular bourbons in the U.S. according to sales. I think it was bourbons. Most of them were bourbons. Anyways, we went blind to see which ones we preferred, and that immediate effect of just the temperature, not even the dilution yet, just the temperature, it mutes some flavors and leaves others present, and that's what's happening in here.
This would have been up there with all the bourbons that we had on the rocks, but without being on the rocks.
Yeah.
It's classic, it's simple, it's a good, decent bourbon, slightly a little too watery.
This is unfair to a lot of whiskey makers, and I'll admit that, but whenever there's a whiskey coming out of some location, some state, some country that has a very, very clear identity, like a culture. It's
like Hawaii.
Kentucky obviously has all of the Kentucky bourbon stuff going on. But what's another place?
Texas.
Texas, I'm trying not to say Texas. I'm trying not to say Texas.
Obviously, yeah.
You got, something coming out of New York, right? Like the home of the Manhattan.
Or California on the beach.
Yeah.
Or,
then I want to have something that feels like it's unique and special that I can pick out of the whiskey and not overly familiar.
There is one of those. I don't know if it's in
I don't know what I would expect out of something coming out of Hawaii. But this is very, very familiar.
Somewhere over here, there's another Hawaiian whiskey.
This is the world of the flavors of budget bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I can't find it. I don't have a ladder.
Wouldn't it be?
No, it's in mixed, weird, not exactly a single category thing, because there actually is distilled pineapple in it.
See, that's the kind of thing that I would be
interested in, because
then if you're trying to do something that's not cliche, I get it. I'm sympathetic. Yeah.
Okay, so this is interesting, and we're going to decide what we want to do with it, but this is a gift, all three of these, from the Magnificent Bastards, Matthew and Shannon Lorenz.
Matthew and Shannon Lorenz, you magnificent
Bastards!
So he wrote us a note that said, this is the whiskeys that sort of turned me into a whiskey drinker, because he's a beer guy, evidently.
Okay.
And it's a distillery in St. Louis, Missouri called Alpha.
Okay.
A brewery in St. Louis, Missouri. It's called Alpha Brewing.
Is this a beer?
And this is a beer.
Yeah.
Right? It's called Do Brew. Evidently, one of their brewers got engaged or married, and or engaged to be married, and his to-be snuck into the brewery and made a beer to honor the moment.
Oh, okay. So this is probably one of the most rare whiskey, or I guess rare
beers ever
in the history of the world.
We don't have good beer glasses back here, do we? Oh, look, hey, we can use these.
Is that wine glass? Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
And you know what though? I'm thinking maybe that and that.
Yeah, you're taller. Can you reach that? I can't reach those back ones. You're gonna have to unhook. Right. Okay, I don't know how old this is, and I don't know how beer keeps.
All right, almost.
So this is a, how do you pronounce Trippel? Tripel?
Tripel.
It's a Tripel with blood orange zest and coriander in it.
It's triple. We're going with triple.
I'm just not a beer guy.
I am a beer guy. I like beers, man.
Tommy is a beer guy. He would be a good judge of this.
Yeah?
I mean, his dad owns a brewery, for crying out loud.
Oh, yeah.
But he's also a beer guy. You know, Emma is actually a beer cicerone.
Yep.
A trained beer expert.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting some citrus vibe in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's really,
this is all herb. All
very
those...
herbal.
Ooh, I like that.
It's nice. It's lighter than what you would expect.
It is. I was waiting for this like big heady funk.
Right.
But this is like, if this was a little cooler, it's a little bit warm.
No.
I mean, it's not cellar temperature either.
That's how they do it in the
but it's not even cellar temperature.
We're going full European.
No, the Europeans like put it in the lows, mid to high 60s. This is probably 80 degrees.
Well, it's Texas. It's Texas
European.
Texipean.
I like the flavors though. Like at room temperature, when you can taste everything, this holds up.
Yeah, which your cheaper budget beers
do not.
There's a reason why they're always in the commercials. It's ice cold.
Yeah, because it buries all the shit that they taste like.
Look at that knife, that perfectly sized knife.
Look at that. That just right through it like butter.
Like it was made for it.
Yeah. Gotta be careful not to slip with this thing, though. One wrong move on this knife, and you are done for. Okay, so this is that same beer distilled by Still 630, which is a distillery in St. Louis, into a 86 proof whiskey, which will be closest to the beer.
Same beer. I'm kind of excited.
And a 117 proof version.
Are there any of these bottles that aren't?
Low proof, high proof. Those are all yours. I haven't touched them. So if they're open, that's you.
I don't believe it.
Low proof, high proof, same thing. Same whiskey.
Coming from
that beer.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old it is because these labels are really hard to read.
I really like the nose on this.
18 months. 18 months.
And they are a little bit different. You said...
They're the same whiskey, just proofed.
Low proof, high proof?
Probably barrel proof and then just proof down.
Okay. The proof down actually gives me a more rich fruity note.
Yeah, the proof down nose is better.
It is. It's a nicer nose. And then the cask is a little bit more of like a an aromatic, almost a sandalwood type of deal.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's not a lot of like
Are you
funk,
sure you didn't
new
get,
makey funk.
Are you sure you didn't get those mixed up?
No, I just put them closest to here.
Okay.
Low, outside,
That is surprising.
high. Right.
I genuinely like the nose. It's a very noticeable.
The higher
difference.
proof is slightly muted. Okay,
It's slightly muted, but it is a little bit more creamy on the higher proof.
This is nice. This is the first time I've had a beer or whiskey.
Oh, wow.
That I thought, that's
Wow.
all butterscotch.
Butterscotch, and there's like a creamy caramel going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a vanilla. Wow, the vanilla shows up in the finish.
Yeah. I like that. I like it a lot, actually.
I gotta tell you, I like that. I like that lower proof better.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the density of the higher proof.
Yeah.
Right? And that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But just as a let's take a sip and enjoy it.
Yeah.
That lower proof.
What was the proof on the lower one?
86.
Are you
43%.
Are you kidding me?
There's so much flavor going on in that for 43%.
No, that's
shocking.
That's where the proof needs to be.
Well
this is
done.
very rare. It's very rare, but it does happen. This is why we don't hate on whiskeys just because they're in like the low 40s.
Right.
Because every once in a while you'll get a whiskey where it's like, damn, that's just
holds
where
up.
it needs to be.
Yeah.
Like the flavors are there. It's more nuanced, more complex. It's a beautiful whiskey at the lower proof.
I dig it, man.
Yeah. Super good. Damn, y'all, they need to get into the whiskey game more so than this.
Maybe we should start releasing 250 milliliter bottles of our stuff so that we can get more bottles.
Oh, hey.
Hey guys.
I think that's going to be a very popular idea.
Yeah.
Just a fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, fight for a friend.
Steal, may you steal your liver's heart.
And if you drink, may you drink with us.